அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். நன்றி. I know we are a few minutes between the exciting cocktails dinner and of course the last session of the day. I told Mr. Umanath jokingly saying that, ஏன் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு விஷ பரீட்சை சாப்பிட்றது போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி why are you making all of us go through this அப்படின்னு. But I'm very, very sure that this reputed and very, very exciting panel is going to obviously ensure that, the hunger is satiated at least for the next 25 minutes. So thank you one and all. I'd like to once again thank Media News for you for putting up such a wonderful event. One common thing that all of us are saying is, we're all meeting so many people together maybe after 1.5 years, right? And that's exactly the topic of the evening as well. How has habit formation changed in the last 18 months, especially because of the COVID and the phygital part of it, where people are buying both omni-channel models, which is offline as well as through physical stores. So first and foremost, I'd like to ask, no particular order, but Murugan. I hardly used to consume Manna health mix before COVID, but as Sri Padam Singh rightly said, I think food is a better medicine than the medicines that we take. So today there is a variety of color irukku veetla adu ennane theriyala edo they just ordering online and then it keeps coming getting delivered and stuff like that. So I'm taking Manna Foods because as packaged FMCG products, it's always physical, right? You need to touch and see. I started my career 24 years back in retail, so I've seen really how a customer would come into a Food World store, pick up a product, see it 180, 360 degrees and all, the packaging, kira kutna olugda, they used to see all that. But today decision making is all online, Murugan. Share with us your experiences of how Manna has probably transformed to the physical plus digital journey. All yours.
Thank you, Sanjeev, and thanks for the Media News for you also. It's a very interesting question, and before COVID came, we always used to say, in the online or business, grow pannu. A lot of companies, in across India, all states, and having worked 22 years, no company is immune to it. So online evlo irukano 4% 10% 15% idella discuss பண்ணும்போது they were stuck by this thing called COVID. Just imagine for 2 months, and we just had a great presentation from Achi that, and the 3 மாசம் factory, close பண்ணலன்னு. We were also very similar. But where do you sell? And we didn't have our own vehicles also. We sell through a salesman who goes, takes order, and the distributor supplies. Salesman still thought, okay, I'm working for Manna, I should find a way to deliver. Well, how do you deliver? The distributors are closed. So when your supply chain suddenly comes to a halt, you realize that there is, you have to follow where the fish is, you have to put the net there. The consumers in this COVID period drastically moved to online. I know of a lot of people, 6-7 மாசத்துக்கு வெளியே வரல. Everything came to their doorstep, right? So online became something which was imperative for survival of many organizations in that time. எல்லாருக்கும் they don't have a cash reserve, right? Fixed costs will come. We were thankfully a little ahead of the curve. We were already pushing our online business, and that to a large extent helped us tide over. We already knew consumer insights, and a good thing about COVID was overall health index of the country went up. The nutrition panel la enna irukune theriyadavanga they started reading what is sugar, what is protein, what is fiber, and why turmeric is good. This increase meant that companies which hitherto already had a notion of being healthy and natural had an advantage. So I won't lie, consumers definitely shifted more towards us. We just had to be online and we got sold. So one of the big things was being present. Second, obviously selling online is very different from selling in the store, right? The disadvantage and the advantage is there is no middleman. You put your product, இப்போ ஒரு கடைக்கு போனீங்கன்னா are you a first brand, second brand, third brand? முதல் brand எங்கிட்ட இருக்குன்னா second brand வாங்குறது யோசிப்பான், மூணாவது brand வாங்குறது யோசிப்பான். So the fight is almost to be present in the store. Online is the leveler. You could be next to the biggest brand in the country, the biggest brand in the world, but be discovered online. So the moral of the story, if you look back today, is you have to do what is right. Online, anyway, people were moving without COVID. being present there and having understood the insights there helped us. Being in a food product and being in a natural food product and being in a nutrition product definitely helped us.
Super, very well summarized, Murugan. Thank you. Bharat, next question is to you. Bharat, as you know, is the co-founder of 4DM, and they buy media for perhaps one of the most watched news channel in Tamil, which is Pudhiya Thalamarai News, along with a few other channels, and of course they represent Republic in this part of the country. So when this whole shift happened, Bharat, people were moving away from offline stores to online. Brands were hesitant to advertise continuously, especially as as we heard before, from print towards digital. What was your brand's feedback on whether to continue advertising on TV or not, or did they also move digital because the customer moved digital, and did that drop your profits? Your learnings or anecdotes from there, please.
I think the first learning that we got was when you start getting brave during COVID, I think there's a lot of money that people made. And I think that was the learning that we took because we started traveling very, very early. We started meeting people. And it was more of an emotional thing for a lot of advertisers who would say, "Idhila poi neenga vandirukingla, I'll give you some money." So it started out like that. And you have to break it down into two. So lockdown 1 gave us a different study, and lockdown 2 was totally different. Like lockdown 1, we had most of the FMCG suddenly coming on news, and we are a news heavy company, so we manage most of news channels. So for us, we saw a paradigm shift in the way advertisers were looking at us. Suddenly, I found Archie coming on to me. Suddenly, ITC was advertising on news where they would shoo us off like before COVID, saying that we are FMCGs. Manna, for example, was a classic study. But what we figured out was, while everybody wanted to go digital online, but I felt 90% was not even prepared. They didn't even know what was digital, to go digital. So they were kite flying. So obviously they need to come on the traditional route. So we encashed on stuff like that. But the lockdown too, we saw a serious impact because rural India was getting affected. And therefore, I feel as a broadcaster, like lockdown 2 was much more bad than the lockdown 1. But we saw new opportunities. So when we got into political strategy during elections, so we got into managing digital assets of brands, and then we started brand consulting. All this would have never happened but for COVID. Otherwise, we would have been selling 10 seconds, even till today, being very happy. So I think we got a completely new dimension to what we were doing.
Super. Because of COVID, that was the phrase that you mentioned. In my previous avatar, I used to be Vice President Sales and Marketing for Levista Coffee, and we grew the business 78% during the pandemic year. We took the number of retail store presence from 26,000 to 77,000. And I would always sign off saying that, call it due to Corona or despite Corona.
And right? I think one of the things I want to mention is probably COVID gave us an opportunity to get Levista on board through Sriram. And it was the first brand to run a Tamil commercial on Republic. We convinced Arnab and his entire team that money is more important than anything. And I think it was a case study for us because a lot of brands on retail are coming on, talking to us saying, "Can I run my Tamil ad?" Like how Levista did it. So I think a lot of things that new takeaways, new learnings that we got from COVID.
Thanks for that, Bharat. Vijay, to you. Vijay, as you all know, is the founder of Darby Clothing. You're present apparently in all the districts of Tamil Nadu, I believe, and many of us have grown wearing your colorful t-shirts and other clothing. You were already on e-commerce, if I remember right. I think I've met you in 2011 when I was working for India Plaza. We wanted to onboard Darby Clothing onto our platform. I was SBO head for lifestyle back then. So you already had your e-commerce. Were you riding on that, or how difficult was it for the customer to choose offline? And also talk about your customers. Who are their profiles? What are their profiles? Yep.
Am I audible? Yep, thank you. Okay, we were not actually, we were definitely on e-commerce since 2011. We have been on e-commerce. But like what was mentioned by Manna earlier, e-commerce was just there. Let's look at the entire garment industry. Garment industry, hardly about 4% of the entire turnover still comes from e-commerce. But during COVID, I mean, COVID has been a great eye-opener for a lot of us. I mean, COVID, we slept to one world and got up to a total new world. We didn't know what was happening. And all the retail shops, because we were heavily dependent upon retail, and all the retail shops of Derby were shut overnight. And even since we came into non-essential, we were not even able to ship out through e-commerce. So we were absolutely sitting ducks. But this is the time when actually we went back to the drawing board. We looked at our customers. Ultimately, why do we get into business is to solve a problem for the customer. And the problem that we are trying to solve is give them confidence, give them the edge over others through great clothing. And that's what we stand for. So we went back to a drawing board asking ourselves this question. If we need to reach out to the customer, if we need to get back our business to what it has to be, probably we cannot do that for the next couple of months till we are able to open. But when we open, how are we going to do that? What is going to be the online play? What is going to be the offline play? How are we going to reach our customer? Ultimately, the whole idea of this omni-channel is basically, can we facilitate the customer to reach to us anyway and at the most profitable way, not only for him, but also for us? Can we solve the problem for the customer? So that was a play that we were looking at, and we were sitting ducks for 2 months. We had absolutely no revenue streams. We had expenses mounting. We had rentals. We had to pay salaries. But what we did is, we cannot control what is happening outside, but we could control what is happening within. We took the entire organization back to the drawing board. We looked at how we operated. We brought a lot of internal efficiencies like moving people to variable pay, a lot of efficiency that ultimately landed that we were able to sustain our operations, in fact, become far more profitable than what we were before COVID, in spite of the fact that retail in general took a 50% hit during COVID. It's been a huge hit. But in spite of that, we managed to keep our EBITDA positive, and we managed to grow the business in spite of that.
Fantastic. Your stores are now operational, and you manage a hybrid model now, I guess.
Absolutely.
Offline and online.
Absolutely.
Hina, to you, we spoke during lunch, on how difficult or easy was it for brands to transition from pure play ATL marketing, especially mainstream media, etc., to digital, because as Murugan rightly said, in a physical store, you are one among 100, but online, you're all equal, because it's finally Google which finally throws up who you are. Google is our identity, perhaps. So, any anecdotes, any examples of your clients who moved to the digital space, or how the transition was? Looks like even the mics are hungry. They're waiting for dinner.
It's okay.
Hello. Yeah. So I have one client who's a 75-year-old sari brand in the West. Now, third generation. Wanted to always get into e-commerce, but how can touch, feel of a fashion get onto online? The difference is that offline you have personalization, online you have convenience. How do you marry the two? Now, our aim was to handhold them through that journey of marrying. Like we all are talking about omni-channel, it does not mean that you have to jump the bandwagon of all the channels together. You could probably start with social commerce, which could be your WhatsApp marketing, which could be your Facebook marketing, and a little bit of your e-commerce, because it's going to be huge for them to understand. While technology being the front runner of any of this digital intervention, I think everybody fails to realize the manpower and the justification of supporting this manpower with the technology. If these guys are not trained enough for technology, how are you even going to succeed in this channel? So for us, at this point of time, it was very important to tell them to start slow, to understand where their consumers are, and then slowly go online, then start build the community. Like you rightly said, for 2-3 months, these guys were a part of retail. I mean, essential wasn't a part, they were non-existent. how can you build a community and how can you start talking to them while still be available to them? So that's where your brand recall comes in, not really sales. So that's one of an interesting experience.
Super. Shyam, you've been in the television industry for too long. Shyam was one of the founding team members of Pudhiya Talamurai, and at a very large 30,000 feet level, Shyam, how did you see brands reacting to stores not being physically available? Stores were shut. So the ad revenues obviously fell drastically for all GEC channels, especially in the south. If the store is shut, what's the need for advertising? So how do you think, both for your previous employer as well as at an industry level, how did this challenge get overcome? Or was there anything else that was done? Broad or specific examples as you wish to.
Interesting. Like how Bharat said, we have to take this into two, version 1 and version 2. So version 1, the reaction was totally different, including consumer behavior. Like people used to wait at 6 o'clock for media bulletin to come, health bulletin to come. So to know the count and the death rate and things like that. And what had happened was the viewership with regard to television skyrocketed. People were glued to news channels especially. At the same at the same time, GEC could not do any production. So because we know Mahabharata started to be screened again, Ramayana started to be screened again, people started viewing the age-old historic mythology kind of stuff. But again, that's when the news channel, especially coming to your question, when the TRP started increasing, the new habits, new normal brought in new habits. And we first make habits and habits makers. And what had happened is, the brands which were which were advertising, their focus changed towards reaching the audience, like what Vijay was saying. I remember going to Vijay's shop some 20 years back, early start career, when he had a shop at your Commander-in-Chief Road, CNC Road, Egmore. So as a salesman, we have walked in and his shop was a favorite shop. Now, the reach is is one particular aspect which every brand started promoting. We heard the earlier Fire Chat session also that they were able to reach the customer. So the product, the brand advertisement changed their focus to reach rather than product focus per se. So that reach, and people started moving more digital, more eco-sensitive, more price-sensitive, and then more innovations. Everything became new normal, and that's where the brand started focusing.
Fantastic. We have 11 minutes is what the ticker says, but I'm going to go through one more round, but these are people who don't represent their companies. These are people who represent industries. So please keep your questions ready so that one more round and, we should all at least try to get the best out of them. Coming back to you, Murugan. Since customers were not going to a physical store, which is the topic of our discussion, decisions were being made online, right? So tell me about the experiences where customers would reply either through social media or through emails or calls, people who knew you, product quality, packaging, damages, returns, no, I don't like this, take it back. Oh, I thought it was something else. Talk about that, please.
Difficult to accept, but we also, while we were selling very good in the commerce platforms, we had said the maximum traffic is coming in the platforms. So our website was not, to be honest to you, that time, good enough. You must write now www.mannafoods.in. It's really sassy and good now, but it wasn't earlier. So a lot of people said, okay, how do I get my favorite health mix or our millets, and so many of our products have very sticky customers. Okay, not all the brands are so big, but they're very big for that customer. So we started getting a lot of complaints on our website, And on hindsight, we could have been a little better prepared, but we at least decided we'll have our customer care right. We'll be listening to everything that's coming. We got our first social listening tool because some people don't complain to you, but they complain. So we put our first social listening tool. We kind of also got every feedback in the e-commerce platforms also. We called up people and asked them what is the problem. You won't believe, we also found out from that which areas. Probably distribution is non-existent. We have our sales guys trying their best, braving the pandemic. In spite of all that, product reaching was not easy, right? So we gave the feedback back saying this customer is not getting it. Consumer complaints were very clear. Any complaint, we were willing to replace it. We didn't even want to ask what happened, how did it happen, or anything like that. We said, this is a very different kind of time. And what made us do it was internally also in the organization, we had taken a call, and we did have a lot of pressure. Like he said, how do you manage fixed costs? And all our companies which have sales force and all of that have a very high fixed cost and no revenue, right? Very little revenue. So we focused internally also. The first thing we said is out of the 4 C's was understand your customer. When you say understand the customer, what does he want, where is he, and how do you fulfill it, and how do you basically keep him satisfied? And therefore, part of that was you can't lose a customer. Cost of gaining him is much higher. So we did that. Use that opportunity to say the other C's that we did. We said we'll build capability in that time. So we recruited people, which was very surprising. And of course, I had a lot of pressure from the board. We actually recruited some of our key competent people then. The third thing we also did was we focused on cost internally, not the kind of cost by removing manpower, but the kind of efficiency cost. And the fourth, which everybody had to do, was conserve a little bit of cash. So I always advise now on hindsight, the 4C helped us not only tide COVID-1, we were very well prepared for COVID-2 and very happy to say that we continue to grow on both the years. So that's
fantastic, fantastic, Murugan. Bharat, I see so much of ads for Thangamayil and Chennai Silks and so on and so forth on all your PT News, Pudhiya Thalamarai News and many other channels. People are waiting in a queue to enter the stores and shop like never before. Last quarter results of Tanishq says that they grew 78% over last year, although it was a low base. I think customers have started coming back to the stores. So give them the good news how large retail brands, the store chain brands, is the advertising ticking up because customers are coming to the stores? Your experiences in the current quarter?
Yeah, about 4-5 months back, we ran a channel without jewelry, without textile. And I think we would have never imagined television running without these two categories. But like I said, we always believe that when it opens up, people will go in large numbers. And I think it's a very Indian mentality that they still believe a touch and feel of a product, especially when it comes to textile and jewelry, which is a big category of advertising. So I think it's booming right now. And honestly speaking, I think, like again I mentioned it, we were brave, we saw opportunities everywhere. And now it's more opportunity. So cinema has opened up. That's a big avenue for advertising for us. So everything is picking up. And I think with Diwali setting in, I think COVID is forgotten. So I don't think we should talk COVID anymore, except that we have to take some precautions. And I think it's over.
Very, very positive to hear. Round of applause to Bharat for saying COVID is over, but COVID is not over. Please wear your mask. Please wash your hands. COVID is not gone anywhere. Right here, any one of us could be impacted. So I agree with you at a philosophical level, but yeah, Vijay, how buzzing are the stores? Because ahead of Diwali, I know pre-Diwali sales is probably one of the best for Darby as well, because it's a very close to the heart, affordable brand for probably lakhs of people in Tamil Nadu and in the markets that you operate. How excited are you about the in-store experience?
We are extremely excited and optimistic. We're looking at year-on-year growth of at least 20% over last year.
Wow.
And incidentally, even last year, we had a much better per store year-on-year growth because of the pent-up demand. In spite of the fact that, 2 months, the stores were shut. When they opened up, there was a huge pent-up demand. So we were able to make up for that during last Diwali. This Diwali also, we are extremely optimistic, and more than being optimistic, I think we are doing something very different. We believe in building a community. We don't believe in selling to a consumer. We believe in understanding and making a customer by giving them an experience. There's a difference between customer service and customer experience. Customer experience is when you're able to go that extra mile, when you're able to understand the customer's requirement and actually cater to what he wants in a way that he feels humane, he feels respected, and he understands that probably he's made the best possible choice for the money that he's spending. I think that's when it shifts from customer service to a customer experience, and we have invested a lot of time and effort into doing that with our front-end team. Having said that, we have invested a lot of effort, not money, effort into a lot of social media engagement. I think whenever I speak about social media or any advertising, we all the time are caught up as what is my marketing spend? But one big realization for us over the last 1.5 years of COVID is social media is not a place where you keep pumping in money, but you create quality content that adds value to your consumers' lifestyle, to their knowledge base. And when you're able to add value to your customers in turn will patronize you. So we have totally shifted away and invested all our time and effort into building content that is probably consumers want to consume. And how do we elevate their lifestyle and we even ran a whole program called as Clothes Don't Make It a Man. The entire thing is old saying that says clothes make it a man. And we said clothes don't make it a man during pandemic because we found that every news channel that you opened up, they were reporting COVID news about the number of deaths. There was so much negativity. We said we need to counter this with absolute positivity, and we took Tamil Nadu as a base, and we selected 38 contestants from 38 districts of Tamil Nadu and took them through a complete transformation program that was completely digital. We had the superheroes of our industry like Murugavel of Bharat Matrimony, Kumravel of your naturals. We had GVK of film industry, mentoring these kids, and all this going viral, and then the transformation of these people through the digital platform and the type of reach
I
was
have
brilliant.
to pause you. We have just 3 minutes more for two people to.
Fabulous.
Sorry to cut you in. Shyam, quickly, the outlook. Are the ADEX comparable to 2019 rates now? You see going up further? I see brands, I see media asking me more money than 2019. Tell me, what is your take?
Absolutely. After the second lockdown, things have changed, and we've started, especially with the festive round the corner, and the consumer confidence is back. So the kind of advertisers have also changed. We have a lot of innovations, driven advertisements, and definitely it is looking for the better.
Super. Final thoughts? Hina, where do you see the convergence happening? In-store, online, BTL, ATL, digital?
Absolutely both. I think India is far-fetched to go only online. I think traditionally we still want to be a mom and pop, want to go there, want to call and order. But at the same time, experience and discover things that we don't otherwise. Like we are seeing tier 2 coming up, tier 3 coming up, because they want to aid the metros. So both online, offline, Omni is here to stay. That's how I'll end this.
Super. So thank you, each one of you, and thank you, the patient audience. I have still 1 more minute left, but we have covered a few pointers, I would say, and the stage is open for the audience for you to, pick their thoughts on your favorite questions. Yeah, Bharat.
One more Bharat from here, but this is to the two brand owners right there. I mean, Murugan and Vijay. There is a boom, there is a pent-up demand. Next 4 or 5 years, I think the government at least currently is expecting the economy to go to 3 to 5 to 6 trillion. What is the long-term plan while these are short-term effects of pent-up demand or the festive season? I'm talking about what is the future vision for 3 to 5 years when Indian economy is booming eventually?
Well, personally, I kind of have a personal bias where you make your own fortune, right? I think India, if you look at what happened post-COVID one, we took a lot of time to recover. Like although April, May was really black months, June was okay, compared to April and May, but it was only in September that the demand started reviving, right? We are a very resolute country because if you look at the next wave of COVID, and unfortunate it is, at least in our circle, there were more deaths in the second round of COVID among people whom you know. but the recovery was almost immediate. By June 15th, by July, we were back to our normal sales and showing some growth. So the way we look at it is, what COVID has taught us is you cannot look at strategy or growth as a fixed path. People say, okay, what's your 1 year plan? What's your 3 year plan? What's your 5 year plan? Even the government, not just the companies, have to be very flexible in terms of how do you build capability or options to take 2-3 routes. The destination is clear, right? You said so much of trillion economy, so much of GDP. For a company are like, it will be a goal for 5 years, right? The destination is clear, but you can't, like earlier days, say, okay, have a milestone, have a path. It is about saying, what are the different kinds of ways you would go? It's almost like living with a little bit of uncertainty as part one. So are you prepared for that? Are you building enough capability to manage uncertainty? The second thing is, this is also told in a way to everybody, companies, governments, all of them, that you cannot, even the companies which came out, were only two kinds of companies. One, which found a way to meet the consumer. I'll find a way to reach the shop. I'll find a way to reach the consumer online. Second, companies which said, I'll keep truckloads of cash as reserve. These are the two kind of companies which kind of did better than others in the pandemic. So, which tells you there's enough resilience, there's enough customer demand. Thirdly, I personally feel, I don't know whether you guys feel it, I actually think consumption over the last 15, 18 months, save for those cases where they lost jobs. So they couldn't spend it, they had to store disposable income. For everybody else, consumption actually has gone up. Call it staying at home and having more La Vista coffee to, consumption actually has gone up. More brands, earlier it was 1 or 2 brands, thanks to online. There are many more brands competing, which means so many more brands will be more active either in giving you more benefit or in trying to get more consumers. So markets will start growing, unorganized to organized, urban to rural. I actually feel consumer companies have a very unfair advantage that this economy will not only pick up, but will start really growing.
Vijay, you want to add?
Okay, I totally agree with Bharat in terms of earlier we used to speak about what are we going to do this year. We used to have the business plans. When COVID hit, first thing we did is scrap the entire business plan. We came up with something called a scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3 planning. So we always plan for the best, moderate and worst case. This is one part of it. Now, having said that, what is going to happen to the market? Definitely rural India is growing. There's a huge potential out there. As a brand, we are looking at growing not in the urban centers, but looking more and more into Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets, where the aspiration level of consumers have gone up thanks to the deep penetration of social media, television, and people want to wear more of brands. So, yes, India is growing. The growth story is going to continue. And the potential and opportunities are more in Tier 2 and Tier 3 market, which is the future of the country.
Perfectly summarized. And I think at a very large level, companies, both brands as well as retailers today have probably started looking at what we call a sequential growth, which is month after month rather than going back to 2020 or 2019, because consumption patterns have changed, the demographics have changed. At a dipstick level, there is a 10 to 15% vacancy across apartments in the suburbs, in Andheri, in Pune, in Bangalore, of course in OMR, in Chennai, which means that these people have permanently or maybe temporarily moved back to their hometowns, which is also showing in a Tier 2, Tier 3 town sales growth as well. So I think many brands and retailers today are looking at a sequential growth. Am I better than September? Was September better than August? I think while there is a lot of optimism, Murugan, I think it's also mixed with a lot of caution. As he rightly said, conserve cash and don't go overboard, which is some not so good news to Bharat and Shyam. But I think advertising is investment, as somebody rightly said. Saving on marketing is like is the dumbest thing to do, because it's just a way to keep cutting the roots of the business. So thank you, RJ Shano, for once again the buzz.
I didn't.
She's asking me to stop. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the audience. Thank you.